Hey, this is Eric with Irrigation Checkups, and hopefully everyone's had a great summer and ready for the fall. Today I am putting together this quick overview of some new features that I am ready to push out to the app tonight. So today is August 25th, 2025, and so uh, app subscribers tomorrow will have these new features available. And so here we see in iPad, in landscape mode, we have a brand new site set up here. This Trucks R Us North. All we've done is uh, entered in the address and site contact information, but nothing else has been set up. The first thing we can see is there's a new button here on the site details page where you can add the different assets that you know about on this site, but sometimes you don't have that information, and that's not going to be entered until the checkup. And so what most people do will enter in uh, this information and then they go straight into performing a checkup. And so none of this has changed. We'll just select the reason and select the template we want to use. And let's create this new checkup. And so first thing we'll see is we have these new kind of pulsing buttons for adding assets, similar to what was on the site detail page. And so, one challenge new users have had is, they get to this point and they're like, well, what's going on here? I don't have anything to do. And so you need to add your assets. And so that flows nicely into the next new feature, which is probably the biggest one of this release, is we can now add pumps to our checkups and to our site assets. And so very similar to backflows and controllers, we can record where it's located. So maybe this is inside shed next to dock, something like that. We have the standard irrigation pump types. So let's say this is a submersible. We have a list of the various manufacturers that are out there. Let's pick Gold's. I'm in my irrigation experience not much of a pump person, so I don't know any of these model numbers offhand, but you can then provide the horsepower size. So let's say this is a 1.5 horsepower pump, and then select the water source. So this could be a well, surface water, whether that's a river, lake, or pond, municipal utility. So if you're dealing with maybe a booster pump putting out low utility pressure, or a tank, but let's just pick surface water, and then you can leave some notes, something like pressure switch is set to 55 psi, something like that, something you want to just relay to the next person that is going to be on site. As with all of our assets, you can geotag it and use your device GPS to place it on the map. And you can also add up to 5 photos for reference for any other users you have on your account. So let's go ahead and update this. And if we scroll down, we now have that pump listed. So we can go ahead and add a repair for it if we want. I'll go into the setup of the repair options for that in a minute. But let's go ahead and add a backflow. So nothing too different here except for after we enter in kind of the manufacturer, the model, maybe the size. What did I just do? That was not good. We'll enter the size here, and then the new field on backflows is you can actually start tracking the date it was last tested. So we click into here, let's say we tested today on our first visit, and so this will be in your site information, your site data. In the near future, there'll be some ways to print out a report that gives you a list of all of your backflows and when they've been tested. And so let's just add that. And let's go ahead and add a controller. And so similar here, say in the garage, something like that. Add on a trusty Pro C. And then after setting up the controller, as always, we have this new feature or new field for the last battery change. And so this is handy if you are in the habit of changing batteries on some regular interval, or if you have a site that has nodes, you can now track this And so again, this will be available in reports, but you'll also be able to just find it. So let's go ahead and add controller. And we now have that in there. And so one other thing before I move off of this checkup page, we also have this new information icon next to the account and site. So if we were to click that, we're going to have this nice little pop-up that gives us the account information and then also site information. And so if you have some notes either on the account, so don't call Guy Duger before 7 a.m. or on the specific site, maybe a gate code, you can see that information without leaving the checkup page. And so that was another request that came in to have that available. And then one other thing that I'm not sure I've ever explicitly said that you could do, but if you click on the name on the checkup, it's actually going to bring you to the site details. And so, just wanted to quickly show that we added this backflow and we put in that tested date. So on the site details page, when you go, let's say you have a whole bunch of backflows at this particular site, you'd be able to see test date there. And then also on controllers, kind of right down here, you can see when the last time the battery is changed. If you don't enter in that information, this whole field, you don't even see the text battery changed. Same with the last tested. So if you choose not to use those fields, it's not going to clutter up your page at all. And so that information is available. And then let me just quickly go to my account to show the pump callout setup, which is exactly the same as how it works for backflows and controllers. If we go to the report template and go to repair checkup detail, let's go to this template. If we scroll down, we have our system fields, and now we have pump fields. And so you can add any number of questions or kind of checkoffs, checklist items that you want for pumps, same as with backflows and controllers. So nothing changed there. There will not be any defaults added to your account. So when you log in, if you want to start using pumps, you're going to want to go in and set these up yourself. There won't be any defaults, but just as the others, you can choose either a checkbox type question or entering in an integer. And so that will get you started. And as always, if you have any questions on how any of this works, feel free to reach out. And again, let me know. A lot of this was feedbacks from users looking for more functionality. And so if there are other things you'd like to see in the app, please feel free to let me know. And I'm always interested in making this app work better for you. So hopefully you enjoy this.